Swallowed Star 536 Yudao Door. Chapter 536, Yudao Door. Look at your smug face. The energy-formed silhouette of the demon Babata mocked. How can I not be satisfied? Luo Feng put down the wine glass and lifted the beast god statue. Looking ahead at the vast space, it was dreamy and filled with dust and fog. Meteorites could also be seen everywhere. Looking at the endless space, Luo Feng's spirit rose. Looking down at the beast god statue, he almost felt as though the statue had become a live, ancient beast that was roaring. This beast itself seemed to embody the laws. The golden-horned beast within his internal world also raised its head to howl, resounding throughout the entire internal world. This is it. It's the strongest thing I can rely on. His eyes gleamed. While staring at the statue, he said, with this statue, comprehending that first claw will be much faster. This will also make my path to understanding the other paths easier and smoother. I want to stand at the peak of the universe, and this will pave the way to achieve that. My greatest reward from this Blood River world is this beast god statue. Luo Feng thought. The Masha clansman appeared next to him. The black-clothed Luo Feng immediately received the statue and disappeared within the internal world. Within the internal world. Howl! The golden-horned beast was like a black mountain range that stood there, and while it extended its right claw, it was even bigger than the Himalayan mountains. Black-clothed Luo Feng placed the statue in its palm, after which the statue vanished and entered within the golden-horned beast's storage ring. The golden-horned beast had its own storage ring. As it frequently trained deities of the world, etc., it required a space to retrieve its own treasures to swallow. It stored the storage ring within the slits of its chest scales. Generations of golden-horned beasts, too, had placed their storage items within that slit, mainly because there was a space there that was actually suitable to place items. Within the control room of the automaton ship, Luo Feng looked ahead at the space, ordering, "Let's go, head to Meng Na City." Meng Na City? Demon Babata opened his mouth in shock. Luo Feng looked at the virtual image of Babata beside and nodded his head. Back then I placed Na Ku in Meng Na City, and it's been 80 years already. Who knows what's happened to him? I gave him some treasures back then. The treasures could move his heart. Hence, before leaving I want to go take a look, since Tianshi Palace is that direction too. The space close to Swallow Mound territory was the closest to Tianshi Palace. For Luo Feng to return, he'd have to first head to Tianshi Palace, and since it was along the way, visiting Na Ku was a natural thing to do. Rumble! The automaton ship swiftly flew, quickly becoming a blurry light in space. Ancient god ruins. The Star Annihilator cannon had left a huge crater there. Baki, who was dressed in his blood robe, and the mountain-like wild beast Qinyo, along with the over 90 blood god guards, all stationed themselves about the edges of the crater. Rumble! The skies shook. Baki, Qinyo, and the guards all looked up at a silhouette that had appeared in mid-air. It was a tall and sturdy old man in gray stone-colored armor. His hair stood erect. As he blinked, it was almost as though there was endless thunder energy. His gaze was like a thunder prison. Greetings, Undying. Baki bowed respectfully. God! The guards all knelt down orderly. Even Qinyo lowered his head. This gray armored old man gazed at the 10,000 kilometers diameter crater. Rumble! Rumble! His gaze was like the sun, shooting out two light pillars, which pierced straight into the deep crater. It was almost as though he could see entirely through the red, thick aura within the crater. Undying! Baki opened his mouth. Within this group, his status was the closest to that of an Undying. However, in terms of power, of course the Undying was still more powerful. This crater. The old man's voice was powerful and deep. There's no sense of laws. The terrifying attack that created this crater is indeed not one of an Undying. However, in terms of power, it's definitely comparable to the full power of an Undying. Only the Outsider's valuable technological weapons can create something of this level. Looks like it's really the Outsiders. Baki nodded. This is very serious. The stone-armored old man frowned, saying solemnly, because of this huge crater, the Undying Shrine had already discussed this with the highest priority. According to that terrifying ancient battle before, from all the data that we've collected, even from the Outsiders, weapons with power comparable to an undying are highly unlikely. Indeed, the universe humans may have great technological advancements. However, power that matched that of an undying could only be created through immeasurable amounts of wealth. But that was simply not worth it. The only ones that had truly reached the pinnacle of technology was the automaton race. These few years, there would frequently be outsiders entering our Blood River continent. The stone-armored old man frowned. We caught all we could and killed all we could. However, these are small matters. This time, however, for someone to have such a powerful weapon, the person who's invaded our world must have a very high status. Baki nodded. Also, according to the world leader Quian and Yuka's ship, their signal was cut halfway in this region. Right here, they met with a tragic end. The stone-armored old man said, "Obviously the enemy used this weapon to attack from far, destroying the ship and killing both Quian and Yuka. This level of technological attack, those two couldn't even defend against. Even Baki Yu wouldn't have 1% of surviving that attack." Baki's body shuddered. Technological weapon? It was actually so powerful. Be on high alert, the stone-armored old man said. You are our Blood River continent's rare genius of 1,000,000,000,000 years. If you were killed by a technological weapon, that would be the worst possible result. Baki nodded. Gritting his teeth, he asked unsatisfied, "Are we to simply just bear with this? Not retaliating." "Retaliate? What do you mean retaliate?" The stone-armored old man looked at Baki. He was feeling exhausted within. Without truly experiencing the ancient tragic battle from before, it was hard to imagine just how powerful the outsiders were. Because of many reasons, the Undying Shrine was able to maintain governance.
And he was an ancient survivor of that battle. Back then, he was only a sector lord, he didn't truly participate in the battle, otherwise he would have died long ago. However, he knew many secrets to that ancient battle. Our Blood River continent's power is still far too weak. The stone-armored old man replied. We cannot think of retaliating yet, we can only train well. Everything relies on power. As for this matter, you don't need to bother with it. The outsiders rarely send someone so important. Our Undying Shrine will not be careless too. If we catch him, we may know more secrets from that person. Over 1,000,000,000,000 years, the Undying Shrine had indeed caught a few universe geniuses. Baki nodded. So, the stone-armored old man became a bolt of lightning and flashed, vanishing from the skies. As an Undying, that old man's speed was even faster than the ships their Undying Shrine had built. Lord! Blood God Guard's 2 captains came over, the others all hadn't heard Baki's conversation with the Undying. I told you all to send a message to all the world leaders to check on any news of 97. Have you done that? Baki looked at the 2 captains. Lord! The captain number 1 said respectfully. We've already sent out the messages. However, Lord, are we not to investigate personally? I suspect 97 could still be in the area. We don't have time to investigate. Baki shook his head coldly. He actually betrayed me, there'll be no place for him on Blood River continent. A month ago when the huge crater was created, Blood God Guard 97 had secretly left, enraging Blood God Baki. He had once heavily favored 97. So, he didn't expect to be betrayed. However, Baki never would have thought that 97 didn't need to stay at all in Blood River continent. Because his true limits were the endless vast universe. The automaton was disguised as a meteorite, and after about 2 months of flying in space, it finally reached Meng Na City's space. Master, we've arrived at Meng Na City. The automaton ship AI said. Sitting cross-legged in the control room, Luo Feng, who was studying the universe wonders, opened his eyes and smiled. Little Naku, I hope you are still alive. His Earth body sat in the automaton ship. He let the Masha body fly out before flying back into space. Shua! Black-robed Luo Feng walked in the luxurious bustling streets of Meng Na City. It's been 2 months since I fired the cannon and acquired the Beast God statue. I believe the effect would be pretty great. For safety reasons, I'll leave the core in space, there'll be no loss then. Black-clothed Luo Feng was very relaxed. Even if he met with a dire situation, and the Masha body was reduced to dust. With a little energy usage he could easily reform the body. As long as the core was fine, the three bodies were essentially undying. The core was Luo Feng's true core. Ahead is Yu Dao sect. Luo Feng walked along the streets, buying little snacks along the way to eat, and casually gazing about. I ordered Naka back then strictly to not leave this place unless he reached cloud level, universe level. He should have listened to me. After a while, Luo Feng stood in the streets. Looking at the luxurious mansion, there was a tag on the door. This is the NI residence, don't hang around the entrance, make way. Black-clothed punk moved to the side. The two guards at the door ordered. Luo Feng's expression was ugly, looking at the two guards. Rumble. The two guards felt as though the land and skies about them vanished. The black-clothed youth before them, his formless pressure, caused them both to crumble. I'm asking you, where's the Yu Dao sect? Black-clothed Luo Feng asked coldly. Yu Dao sect, it was destroyed long ago. The two guards said in shock. At this time, the oncoming traffic of people couldn't hear anything. They could only see the two guards speaking to the black-clothed youth, not hearing anything they said. Luo Feng's gaze focused. Tell me in detail what happened to the Yu Dao sect. Yes, yes. We'll speak. The two guards immediately began to explain in detail about how after the Yu Dao sect was destroyed, and how someone came to avenge it later.